No, I listen to it all the time. I tell all my friends to smack it raw.
The following podcast contains mature content. The views and opinions expressed by the co-hosts are not necessarily those of the host. Viewer discretion is advised. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Smackin podcast episode 215. I'm your host, technically, the Pornhub Poppy, Daddy Delgado, aka SES Vince. Joining me today is my co-host, Sir Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka Sweet T, aka T Money, aka Black Merlin, aka the HNIC.
What's happening?
Hey, how'd I do? How'd I do for my first crack at it?
Not bad at all. At least you did it, because Matt will tell you if you don't, I will literally just sit here. So
I know. I started watching Return to Wrestling with Pretty Kyle, and he butchered it like a million times, and you just kind of sat there. It's like. I'm not gonna do the show. I'll just be there quiet.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, no, you will introduce me properly, or I won't do the show.
Which is fair. I mean, that's kind of like part of the bit. You know, Matt should already come to expect that. I don't know why he thinks that he can get away with things when I can't get away with things.
Yeah, it's whatever, man. He tries, but you know,
for real. Travis, I guess we should start with news and rumors like we normally do.
Sure. You got news and rumors?
News and rumors. Supposedly Alexa Bliss might be taking some time off. I don't know the specifics, but after her match at Extreme Rules, that's looking like the case. I think she's getting like some nasal stuff done. I don't know, but she's done for a few months. If not, like early 2022 is when we can expect her to come back.
Did you see that?
See what?
My background. Did you see the aliens invade on the beach?
Oh, the little flickering?
Yeah, man. Aliens.
Oh, I thought that was just my light in my basement, just like going off and on.
No. Aliens out here, man. It's
nah. But
when you go to these, quiet, remote places that nobody really knows about, things like aliens tend to happen and nobody knows.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not alone.
Yeah. This is why I go to places like this, So I see things that other people don't get to see.
Well, better you than me, Travis.
I am better than you. You're right.
But in other news and rumors, I don't know if you did you get a chance to actually watch SmackDown tonight?
I did.
What are your thoughts on the King of the Ring returning and WWE doing Queen for the Crown or Crown? What did they call it? I can't remember what they fucking called the woman's version of the King.
The Queen's Crown or something like that.
The Queen's Crown, like. What do you think, Travis? Obviously, you do return to wrestling. You're really into the old school stuff, and Matt's been pushing it. Yeah,
and I miss it so much. Like, there's so many things that used to happen that I've missed so much. One of those things is the King of the Ring, and they're like, it starts that night on SmackDown. I'm like, what do you mean it starts? It's supposed to start and end on the same night. That's what the King of the Ring tournament is.
It should be its own pay-per-view.
And the way that you all are doing it now is fucking trash. Now it's just a random tournament. Why are you doing this? Why are you calling it King of the Ring? This is not the King of the Ring. That's why when Corbin won, it was always hashtag not my king. Like, he didn't win a real King of the Ring tournament. It's been forever since we've seen one, one of which being the Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be,
Won't deny it one bit.
But yeah, you're supposed to win that entire tournament in one night. That whole night is a tournament, and you wrestle it all in one night. You win, you are the King of the Ring, or you hold the Queen's crown now, as it is. It should be a pay-per-view. Like, we had an Extreme Rules pay-per-view for no fucking reason. So
there was literally one Extreme Rules match, like in the entire pay-per-view. Like, that was one of my major spits in the Spit and Swallow debut episode. Was like Extreme Rules not being extreme. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, that's
I didn't know that. I have a habit of just stop listening when you start talking. So.
Oh, I was fully under the impression that you didn't watch and listen to a single second of that episode just because I was on it.
No, it wasn't just because you were on him, honestly. It's just I don't listen to anything that we do here because it feels bad for me to like just I don't like drinking my own product. It's just
I got you. I feel you. It's kind of when I went back and edited the whole video. Like honestly, I just like it was weird listening back to my own voice.
You're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate.
I hate it. I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Other news. What other news is there out there in the wrestling world? The WWE Draft Night 1 happened tonight. We'll talk about it more in extent. And I don't think there's much. I don't have much planned for news and rumors. To be honest,
nobody got married. Nobody's expecting a baby. All that kind of TMZ kind of shit that everybody loves for some reason.
Tony Storm got engaged to the former CJ Parker or Juice Robinson from New Japan. I'm pretty sure you have no idea who the fuck this guy is.
Nope.
And I'm pretty sure you never watched NXT back in the day. He was like the hippie dude. He was trying to save the world.
Yeah, I don't remember him or know him at all. But if he's engaged to Tony Storm, I am insanely jealous.
Yeah, I mean most men should be.
Yeah.
Scarlett, I think, got engaged with Karrion Kross earlier in the week as well. So 2 engagements this week.
Slightly less jealous of that, but jealous nonetheless.
Really?
Oh yeah. I'll take Tony Storm over Scarlett any night.
You know what? I can't even disagree with you, man.
Yeah.
Also, just quickly, want to go ahead and plug the Black Lives Matter merch from Young Kings Wrestling. It's the one positive thing that Travis does support over there on that podcast. You can go ahead and check it out.
Here's the thing. It's not the one thing because I still like Reek. Reek is still cool with me.
Yeah.
It's really 100% just TC. Like it's really only TC in that whole atmosphere over there they got going on. He ruins it all. Just fuck TC and everything he stand for, and for motherfuckers that look like TC. But the rest of them, they cool with me. I don't want to. Here's if you plugging shit. Like we got this right here. We don't like get anything from this, but I just think it's cool as fuck that I got a free Pornhub shirt once upon a time. So
that is good. Is there any way that me and Matt will be able to get our own Pornhub shirts?
No, because me getting this Pornhub shirt had absolutely nothing to do with us being on Pornhub. It was a completely random thing when I was working at the hotel.
Okay. Just funny coincidence then.
When you just happen to meet the right people, and it's just that's kind of thing that happens when you work at a hotel. You meet random people that you're like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting to meet Sinbad today, but okay. Like it's the most random shit that happens, and then one day you're, bringing bags up to a room and you happen to meet the dude that does marketing for Pornhub, and he's just got shirts. And you're like, what size shirt are you? And he tosses you a shirt. And it's just like, hey, okay.
It was meant to be, man. It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
Okay, Travis, since you're not always on here, man, where would you like to start? You said you tried to catch up with all the shows this week.
Let me tell you what happened, because I 100% tried to watch Dynamite. And here's the thing that remains true, because I had stopped watching Dynamite for a while for multiple reasons. One of which I like to talk about all the time because I just wasn't really feeling the product as much. I know it from what people have told me and everything has gotten better, but for me to watch it, it's such a chore. Let me tell you why. Because the TNT app is fucking trash, right? It's fucking trash. I used to talk about this all the time when I'd watch it when I was doing the show with Matt. And it's just like, why is it so hard to watch this damn show on the TNT app? Like I turn the thing on and I cast it to my TV, like I do everything, Netflix casts just fine. Fucking HBO Max, as fucked up as HBO Max is, that streams fine from my phone to my TV,
Right.
But the TNT app, for some reason, randomly, it just cuts off all the time. And then when it does it, trying to get back to where you were before, impossible. Because you skip ahead, because you got to skip past some commercials. So it plays the commercials. In the midst of the commercials, it cuts off. So tonight, when I tried it again, it kept doing it. I'm like, you know what? I tried. Fuck it. So I saw Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole, and that was it.
Which was a very good match, by the way.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Do you want to start with
Kind
AEW
of disappointed that Luchasaurus wasn't there for it, but
You know what? I was watching I was watching the match right as Adam Cole was starting. It's starting to come out and make his entrance. I heard Jungle Boy's music come out. I'm like, Luchasaurus should definitely come out. If Luchasaurus comes out, that's an automatic swallow for AEW on Travis's end.
Yep.
Then I saw no Luchasaurus.
Yep.
I'm like, they just screwed themselves. They just hanged themselves. No Luchasaurus.
Mm-hmm. They ruined it. They killed it for themselves. They did it to themselves.
But then he came out later on in the night because there was an interaction with Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega. There was like the Elite versus Daniel Bryan, Christian Cage, Jungle Express came out, make the save, even the odds. So there was a little Luchasaurus. You just missed them though because the TNT app is trash.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Did CM Punk do anything special besides commentator?
No, he was on commentary the whole night.
Okay.
I will say that
I would just wonder if he would maybe do a run in because something happened or something like that. I was just curious. Okay.
There was a tease during the MJF segment where there were CM Punks going around and MJF did his best to shut down the CM Punk chants, and CM Punk wanted to come out, but it was interrupted with Darby's music. But I'm jumping all over the place.
Jump.
We start things off with Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole. I thought this was probably the best match of the entire card. Adam Cole does end up defeating Jungle Boy, hits him with the mule kick after the distraction from the ref. Fantastic heel work.
One thing I'll point out about not just Adam Cole, but like multiple others that I saw. Like I did see more than just that match. That was an exaggeration, but I saw like some other segments and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But watching this and seeing all these folks in AEW, like the crowds, they're doing all these WWE related chants. And it's just like, so it's funny because the crowd is doing it. So WWE can't do shit about it because none of the actual wrestlers are doing their bits from WWE.
Right.
But the crowds are doing it for them. So it's just like, I can't control what the people in the crowd do.
Exactly. And that kind of, I feel like you're specifically focusing in on like Bryan Danielson, aka Daniel Bryan, him not doing the yes chant anymore, but the entire crowd
going like this and saying
yes.
But also when Adam Cole came out, he just put his hands up and the crowd went bang bang. Like it's just,
So I will say this, that was the thing he was doing in Ring of Honor and in the Indies before NXT.
Okay.
So the only thing from WWE that he is bringing over is the boom in his entrance. Because he didn't used to do that before. Like, as far as I understand, he would.
Okay. Well, I didn't see him in Ring of Honor, so yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I assume as much. If Matt never watched New Japan, I would assume you didn't watch Ring of Honor or anything else. You barely watch the main shows as it is.
I mean,
there's no lies there. There's no lies.
Like some weeks I don't. Like it's just, now that I'm not doing this show, and we know how freeing it is to not feel obligated to watch everything wrestling every week. Like
I miss it.
It's just like some weeks I'm just like, I'll usually catch Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll catch SmackDown. Sometimes I won't. Rare occasion I'll turn on NXT while I'm doing something else. Right. It's just like, oh, this is so relaxing when I don't really have to pay attention to this.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, for sure.
But I'm glad I watched SmackDown this week, though. I'll say that.
Well, it was the draft. So like it was
even outside of that, just other stuff that happened outside the draft.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I know. I'm just
so let's try to breeze through.
You tell me don't care what happened on AEW. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, like I said, the Elite came out after the Adam Cole match. They all cut a promo. Daniel Bryan comes out. Bryan Danielson, whatever. Pre-Seaman Danielson is what Matt likes to call him now. He gets the better of them. Like I said, Jungle Express.
You didn't even hear me. That's great.
I didn't. Let's just keep rolling with the punches. So Jurassic Express come out. Christian Cage come out again. Like breakaway brawl.
Heard me. I'm not going to repeat it, but I was just wondering if anybody else heard me. If you heard me, drop it in the comments. Go ahead.
No, it's all right. They'll tweet at it. Someone's going to catch it. And then they'll bring it up to.
I expect it to be Reek. I expect Reek to catch what I said, but
Yeah, I expected as much too. By the way, I'm going off of the Bleacher Report. Like, like report like the result thing because I didn't take actual fucking notes for this because just goes to show you what happens when Matt isn't on the show. Travis assumed I was hosting. I assumed Travis was hosting. So here we are, winging it as best as we can.
There's no responsible adult here right now because yeah.
I'm drinking the Jack and Coke before the show. Like I was not planning to be responsible whatsoever.
Normally this goblet has wine. It's tequila right now. So yeah, this is
even better choice. Even better choice. We had Cody Rhodes versus Lee Johnson taking on Dante Martin and Matt Seidel. I honestly didn't really care too much about the match. I kind of skipped forward a little bit.
Johnson?
It's the black dude that's in the American Nightmare family or whatever.
There's a black dude in the Nightmare family.
Mm-hmm. The only black dude. And
damn, I've been missing a whole lot because I don't even know there is a black dude in the Nightmare family. Okay.
Yeah. So Cody kind of looks like he's a little bit over his head throughout the match, especially towards the end. Lee Johnson has to come in and like drags that motherfucker to the corner.
At this point in the show, by the way, is when I stopped watching because the TNT up just kept fucking up, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm done. During his entrance was when I was done.
There's an alternative for AEW that has helped me tremendously. I'll share it with you off camera because I'm not trying to get us into any legal situations. But Lee Johnson tags himself in, kind of basically saves the match for his team, gets the dub. The big talking point after this was the little like promo that Arn Anderson had with Cody Rhodes after the match.
I kept hearing about this, and it's just like I'm upset that I didn't see it, but at the same time, I wasn't gonna keep putting myself through that. So
no,
I'll let you tell me.
You know what
I'm pretty sure I can find it on YouTube too. So
I'll save you the trouble. I'll just tag you or send it to you on Twitter.
Or you can tag me and send it to me on Twitter.
Exactly. It's literally that's how I found it. It was literally like 40-second to like a minute clip, and it was basically Arn Anderson just kind of being upset and disappointed with Cody, saying like, look, like ever since Malachi Black came, you've been out of your game. You got beaten up in the first match. You were so depressed that you decided to like leave your boot in the ring and try to quit. What the kind of bullshit was that? You didn't talk to me about that. Then we have the next match. You have this man beat in the following match, and you're concerned about me on the outside. No, take care of the business in the ring. Go ahead and beat this man. What you go ahead and do? You lost because you don't listen to me. You know what's the difference between you and me, Cody? He makes this analogy of if someone comes and pulls you over and opens your car door. He's like, Cody, if someone opens your car door, and tells you to get out, you're the kind of guy that would say, yes, please go ahead and take it. Just don't hurt me. Me, on the other hand, I'm the kind of guy that would go ahead, grab the Glock, and just shoot him and have his blood plastered all over the concrete.
Oh.
And that's why Matt wanted to call it.
How wonderful it must be to be white.
Right? Right?
Like, seriously? Because most of the time with me, if someone's pulling open my car door, they're wearing a badge. So do I blast on them too? Because
nah. That's a different situation. That's a different situation, Aaron.
Yeah. Very, very different situation. That's my point. Man, it must be good to be white.
But I didn't do that whole promo justice because it was legit hilarious. Because there's this one point. You saw the screenshot that Matt sent
to us,
where he has like the Glock and shit, and then you just see Cody's fucking face.
Yeah. So send that to me on Twitter, but then never send me anything on Twitter ever again.
Sounds good. I mean, we're in agreement. After that, we have John Moxley.
I tell Matt all the time too, like, yo, stop tagging me and shit on Twitter. Like,
I don't tag you in shit, period.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying I tell Matt that all the time.
I keep our interactions off of the show bare minimum. Very limited.
Yeah. Keep it in the
strictly
Slack,
business.
Strictly business. Keep it in the Slack. Yeah.
I
try to tell Matt that all the time, but then he always wants to tag me and shit. And I'm like, Matt, I don't care.
I think it's because you're his best friend. He wants to share things with you.
I know. I understand why he does it. I 100% understand why he does it.
You just still don't care.
I'm just going to continue to tell him how I don't care, and he'll keep doing it. And it's just kind of how it works between us, you know. It's just,
if it makes you feel any better, I feel like there's a compromise where he doesn't add you to group chats because he knows that you don't want to be part of any group chat.
Yeah. But then other people put me in there, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Stop.
How did this happen? How did I end up in here? I get on Twitter like every 2 weeks. Like, why are you?
I was
all...
not expecting you to jump onto my mentions earlier today when I'm talking to Matt.
You know why? Because Kyle tagged me in some shit, and I kept getting notifications on Twitter. And so I opened up Twitter, and then I saw Matt had said something, and I saw y'all were going back and forth. I'm like, oh, we yelling at Vince? Fuck you, Vince. And that was it. Like, it was just because we were yelling at Vince. So I was just like, I'll get in on that. Whatever. You know?
Okay.
At first, it was one of those things like, yo, we getting on Benji. I'll get in on that too. But then I saw you were there too. I'm like, Vince, Benji.
To be fair, you have more opportunities to rag on me as opposed to Benji. Benji probably is going to disappear for 3 or 4 months, never to be heard from again, and just reappear. Yeah, so you got to get your licks in while you can.
Yeah, but then at the same time, it's just like, do I? Because if he disappears like that, does he really care? He never sells it, so it's just like it's no fun.
Speaking of no selling, let's move on. Let me no sell Travis and move on to this AEW stuff and get it out of the way. Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, Darby Allin, 6-man tag versus Bear Country and Anthony Green. I have no idea who the fuck they face. Obviously, team Jon Moxley, Kingston, and Darby Allin won. The big highlight of this was that they were making the Shield entrance along with Sting, and Sting just said, "Fuck it, I can't hop over the barricade," and just move the barricade to the side and just walk past.
Because he's old.
Exactly. There was a weird ass 16-man tag match.
Of course there was, because it's fucking AEW. Jesus.
It was Dark Order, every single member of Dark Order plus Orange Cassidy versus the Hart Family Office, which is literally 3 tag teams in Matt Hardy.
Versus the what office?
Hardy Family Office. Matt Hardy, within the last few months, has collected his own faction of exclusive tag team wrestlers and all trash tag team wrestlers, except for Private Party. He has Private Party, Butcher and the Blade, and Angelico and Jack Evans. I'm pretty sure you don't have no idea.
About to say, who is Angelico and who is Jack Evans?
The white guys that dress in neon green.
Oh, I remember them.
Yeah. So that's
they're trash. Keep going.
Yeah, so that's basically. I think Dark Order won because it was in honor of Brody Lee. It was so.
Yeah, makes sense.
The Dark Order went ahead and reunited. They were having this couples quarrel. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Like some infighting going on?
Yeah, there was some infighting with Dark Order. I wasn't really paying attention too much because it's Dynamite and it's Dark Order, and I don't really care.
Who's running the Dark Order these days?
There is no leader. There's a bunch of dysfunction, and I feel like that's kind of the whole point.
Okay.
Yeah.
My thing was, when the Dark Order first started, I liked the idea of the fact that there was no leader. That's what I thought it was going to be. We're just this cult where it's just we're all nameless. We have no leader, all that kind of shit, hive mind kind of thing. They're like the Borg. That's what I thought it was going to be like. And then it wasn't. And then I was very disappointed.
Kind of like the Court of Owls, almost, to a sense.
Sort of.
Okay.
I like to equate it more to the Borg before Deep Space Nine. Not Deep Space Nine. Voyager ruined them.
Obviously, it wouldn't be Dynamite without.
Did you watch Star Trek Voyager?
Nah, man. Star Trek wasn't one of those things that I was watching at all growing up because I just never had access to it. And then at a certain point, there's so much to cover. It just felt more overwhelming to even want to.
I understand. Yeah. But if you ever do, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, fantastic.
I might be more
Voyager less so than Deep Space Nine and the Next Generation, but Voyager's still pretty good.
I'll have my people talk to your people. We might be able to work some things out.
Don't call me.
By my people and your people, I mean Matt. He's our people. He's our people. Again, it wouldn't be Dynamite without more tag team wrestling. So we had Tay Conti and Anna Jay taking on the Bunny and Penelope.
How are we still talking about AEW? How long was this show?
It felt like forever. And Anna Jay and Tay, they win the match afterwards. Negative Uno shows
Jay
ahead.
Cargill on the card on Dynamite.
No,
was she on Rampage?
She was on Rampage, but I didn't watch Rampage, so I was gonna say let's just skip Rampage since neither of us watched.
Damn.
She was in the triple threat match with Thunder Rosa and Nyla Rose.
Thunder Rosa, part of the whole train.
So
I didn't know that until recently.
She tweeted about it too.
Yeah, I know.
MJF had a promo. He was talking about like the 4 pillars of AEW. Darby Allin comes out, and he basically just kind of like stands up to the bully. MJF cowers with his tail tucked between his legs. Nothing.
He still have his group.
We don't fucking know.
Oh,
like FTR earlier had a promo acknowledging that they're still part of the Pinnacle, but MJF only comes out with Wardlow now, and Sean Spears does nothing. So it's like they're technically part of a faction, but they don't have any association with each other. And then
is the Inner Circle still a thing, or have they completely disintegrated?
They're still a thing, but they kind of like branch off and do their own little things. It's weird.
Okay.
Finally, the main event, Sammy Guevara.
Happens to all those factions. Happened to DX, happened to the NWO. It makes sense.
Unfortunately, it happened to New Day tonight, but we'll talk about it.
That was very disappointing. Like, very disappointing.
Yeah. Do you want to go into SmackDown right after this? Because that's probably the biggest talking point of the entire show.
Sure.
Okay. Sammy Guevara versus Miro for the TNT Championship. Sammy Guevara won, and Miro is no longer undefeated. New TNT champion. Congrats to Sammy Guevara. Overall, Travis, spit or swallow?
Spit.
Even though they had Luchasaurus on the show?
I didn't see it because their app is trash, so I'm going to spit.
You know what? Just because I don't like to disagree with you and risk myself being muted, I'd like to answer correctly. There was no Luchasaurus. Spit for AEW.
I mean, you're allowed to have your own opinion on AEW. Like, that's fine.
I mean, the only thing I liked about AEW was the opening match, which was Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole. After everything after that, was just kind of like, eh.
So the only match I saw was the only real good point.
For me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to take the reins of SmackDown?
Reigns.
Unintentional pun. Love that. We should get our own soundboard. I should invest in a soundboard. That's what I should do.
I mean, I have a D&D soundboard, but it's just like it's really only works for D&D stuff. It's like the sounds of fireball spells and like, other.
Gotta add like the drum snare in there at some point.
Yeah.
Because if Young Kings Wrestling can have a soundboard, we should have a soundboard.
That's what Matt kept telling me, but like I kept telling him, like, I don't give a shit what they do at Young Kings Wrestling. So,
I mean, the cheapest solution is to just share audio and let me play sound effects that I download from Zedge onto my iTunes, and then just go from there.
Yeah, I mean that's
and then just hope that I have the comedic timing to go ahead and follow through with the proper timing of the sound effect. But yeah, SmackDown, night 1 of the draft. It was a little weird because they were saying that only half of the roster was going to be drafted.
They did the same thing before. They've done that.
I know. But the difference between last year and this year was, or even previous years, is they let you know what superstars were eligible to be drafted on that specific night.
They told us before. They put out like a whole thing with like, night 1, all these superstars are available. Night 2, all these superstars are available. They've done it before.
They didn't do it on the show though. Like they've done it on the show in the past. I feel like maybe I'm remember things incorrectly.
I don't remember exactly how they did it, but I remember knowing what superstars were available which night.
I had no idea who the fuck was eligible for tonight's draft.
I didn't know who was eligible this year either, but I knew before they've done the thing where only certain superstars were available. All I know is that Becky Lynch came out and said, I'm not available until Monday, which is why I wasn't picked yet, because she had to make those that she's available on Monday. See,
my dumbass didn't realize that Becky Lynch wasn't available to be drafted until Monday, until like the 3rd round of the draft. I was literally going through like the first round, second round. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Really? They're not drafting Becky? Like, how do you draft other show?
So you're watching this all and you're just like,
yes, exactly, man. Like, I was so lost. But
just for kicks.
Just for kicks.
That's a fire spell because I can. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
See, it's funny because you try to do your best to like fluster me or get me off of my game, like you do with Matt. But it works more with me than it does with Matt. So we're literally gonna sit here and ramble for like about 2 hours until we get done with the fucking show, or until we decide I'm done with this fucking night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me see if I remember correctly the order of these draft picks. The show starts off with the draft, obviously. SmackDown gets the first pick, which that in turn let me know, Travis, that WWE values SmackDown way more than Raw, because the previous 2 years in this draft, ever since they did the brand splits initially in 2016, Raw always had the first pick, and they always did 3 picks for Raw, 2 picks for SmackDown, because in their description or definition or justification was Raw's a 3-hour show, so they need more wrestlers.
Right.
This was more even. This was 2 and 2.
Well, yeah, they on Fox now. Like, we gotta
Yeah. So first pick, obviously, no surprise, Roman Reigns, the WWE Universal Champion.
Acknowledge him.
The number 1 pick for Raw, which is second overall, Big E stays on Raw.
Hold on to their champ. Makes sense to me.
Then SmackDown with their second pick selects the Raw Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair, which kind of threw me off, which led me to believe that she's switching those titles with Becky. Either she's switching those titles with Becky, or she's
Raw probably gets the number 1 pick on Monday, and they're gonna take Becky because it
only makes sense. It only makes sense. Then Raw countered with, I think, was a fantastic pick in Bianca Belair. That also too, you can go ahead and have Becky, like have her beat Becky and Sasha at Crown Jewel in that triple threat match. Have her bring over the SmackDown title, and I guess swap it with Charlotte, like New Day and Street Profits did last year at the draft.
New Day and Street Profits got an 8-man tag match that I didn't even know I wanted.
You want 8-man tag matches, Travis?
When they involve the New Day and the Street Profits, hell yeah.
So then, so that was the first round, if I'm not mistaken, 2 and 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just run down all the fucking draft
just
picks.
do all the draft picks, because there's no point in separating all that shit.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Then SmackDown with their pick, they had Drew McIntyre, which everyone was already assuming he was moving over to SmackDown. There was nothing for him to do on Raw. Him over on SmackDown. Yeah, which they teased, and they might still go ahead and do.
They'll probably
Monday.
do it at Crown Jewel. Because Biggie doesn't have a match at Crown Jewel yet. So
exactly.
Do it at Crown Jewel, then Drew will go on over to SmackDown, and he can go after the tribal chief, and Roman Reigns can squash him, because he needs to keep beating motherfuckers until WrestleMania, when he finally faces The Rock in Dallas. I will be there.
Take pictures.
No, nobody else gets to see it. Just me.
Raw then counters with RK Bro, the current Raw Tag Team Champions, which makes sense. Why not keep Randy Orton and Matt Riddle? Well,
Randy Orton,
yeah, but the RK Bro dynamics is good. I can't be muted by Matt this week, Travis. Yeah.
Here's the thing: I don't particularly like Matt Riddle, but
the dynamic is.
But him with Randy Orton is one of those things. Like, it's just 100% reminds me of being that little brother that annoys your older brother all the time. Like, I live for that shit. As the youngest sibling, that's what we do. Like those of you who don't have siblings, I just wonder, what do you all do when you just in the mood to just annoy somebody for no reason?
They hop online and annoy people on social media or on their gaming consoles.
So you annoy people that you don't know? That's not fun.
I'm not speaking for myself, because I'm the oldest of 4, Travis. If anything, I had the younger siblings annoying me.
Yeah. So you understand. Yeah. So it's just but I'm talking about those other people. So it can't be fulfilling. Is that why they do it all the time?
Could be.
They feel unfulfilled when they try that. And is that where internet trolls come from?
Could be, possibly.
Are they lonely
answer
children?
That question for us.
Are they lonely children who were never able to annoy their siblings? Is that what it is?
We should ask Benji that, man. We should ask Benji.
Why should I ask Benji?
Because I feel he's an only child, and I feel like we perfectly described Benji.
Is Benji a troll?
He likes to troll people on Twitter. He used to instigate people on purpose.
I do that too, though.
For entertainment. purposes.
Well, it's kind of funny, but I'm not talking about like that. I'm talking about the ones who like intentionally like incite people through hate and shit, you know? Like
That could still be Benchy. Now, you know what? That's Savannah from the Shalice Showcase because she's out here slandering Sasha Banks. And I do not.
Who's slandering Sasha?
Savannah, the Katie Kinsey's co-host on the Shalice Showcase.
I will contact Katie, baby. We'll have a talk. I might have to like, you know, make a guest appearance on their show and set some people straight because like there's few slanders that I will tolerate. And you know, there are certain ones that I absolutely will not tolerate. One of them being Sasha Banks, another one of them being Juventud Guerrero. Sir, you thought I was gonna forget? I have not forgotten. Yeah, I got you all to myself right now. What the fuck?
Wait, what are you talking about? I don't remember what.
You know what? Hold on, because this calls for like, you know, because I've been waiting. I have been waiting, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, your king is here. I have some words. I have a decree. Vince Delgado, how fucking dare you? You dare slander the name of Juventud Guerrero, the Juice, Hoovy Fever. How dare you, sir? I'm not usually one to revoke somebody's cards. I'm usually not.
My cards?
Do I need to call some of my homies to revoke your Mexican card?
I thought you were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a sec.
No, I don't give a fuck about your Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'll see you to the Shadow Realm any day though. But listen,
can I make my case because I feel like it was lost in translation? I was saying that his match with Jericho was not as good as I thought it should be because his stipulation with Hoovy, what were they doing? The trials and tribulations of Jericho, whatever. And the stipulation with the Hoovy match was that he had to hit a top rope move to win. This followed.
This was on AEW?
This was on AEW,
okay.
Yes.
I didn't see that.
And this had followed. This was the third trial. The first one was a chair. It was a match with Sean Spears, the chairman, where Sean Spears could only use the chair. But Jericho had to use it. There was DQ for Jericho, but Sean Spears could use the chair. The second one was kind of like a death match with Nick Gage, this trailer park death match king or whatever. Then after that, you follow the stipulation with Hoovy where you have to hit a top rope move. And in my head, that didn't make sense. I feel like you should have switched that around and you switch up the stipulations to they should be escalating as the trials go on. And I felt like it was a bit of a downgrade. And I just kind of saw the match and it's like Jericho was moving too slow. Hoovy wasn't moving how he used to move. The matches didn't do it for me.
That's not all you said though, sir.
Then
explain your Mexico's comment.
Then Matt kept poking and prodding. So then I said, like, look, no offense to Hoovy. I like Hoovy. I have some details that he might not be like the most likable dude outside of the squared circle.
I don't give a fuck.
But I said he is the worst member of the Mexicals.
Bull and shit.
I stand by that statement. Look at the Mexicals as a whole. I would argue that Super Crazy had the longevity. He was actually held the tag team titles with Psychosis. Psychosis actually stuck around for a bit. Hoovy was in there for the Cruiserweight title and got bounced.
And either one of them won the Cruiserweight title.
I will still go ahead.
It was also a top tier Cruiserweight in WCW, sir.
We're not talking about WCW Hoovy. We're talking about WWE Hoovy.
And he was still better than Super Crazy 7 days out of 7, sir.
That's
Hoovy would run circle around Super Crazy,
cap.
sir.
That's cap. Super Crazy and Psychosis.
Zero cap, sir. Zero cap.
Psychosis, Super Crazy, right here. Hoovy, slightly below.
Bull and shit. You see, you know, like, I don't like doing this. You know, I really don't. People think I do, but I don't. But like this motherfucker here. The slander on Juventud Guerrero, I will not tolerate. I just will not tolerate it. I will unmute you, sir, but only if you agree that you will say something nice about Hoovy and we will move on.
I will say that I like Hoovy's 450. It's a fantastic 450 and probably the best 450 out there.
Acceptable.
Moving on. This is where I'm major spitting SmackDown, and probably the main reason I would spit SmackDown as a whole, just out of principle. New Day, the remaining members of New Day get drafted over to SmackDown to counteract RK Bro going over to Raw, and then you have Edge going over to Raw. Nothing wrong with anything except for New Day moving over to fucking SmackDown. Like, you broke up the New Day last year, then you reunite the New Day for like not even a month, and now you're breaking them up again.
You broke them up so you can give Big E that singles push, which I understand. It made sense. I didn't like it, but it made sense. He got his singles push. He's at the top. He's the WWE champion. You reunite him with his brothers. You get that moment in the ring where they're celebrating. Kofi's hugging him and laughing and happy and everything. Woods is crying because that's what he does. It's a great moment. It's great. They are reunited as one again. The New Day is back together. They had matching gear on Raw and everything. Then you break them up again. Why? They're not dependent on each other anymore. You've shown that. They are now they got 2 world champions in the group now.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, 2 down, 1 to go. Because the day Woods wins a title, I swear to God, I will nut myself all over my living room.
The fact, he should be able to have at least the US or IC title run at the bare minimum.
Yeah, bare minimum. But
he's 100%, my pick. He's my pick to win King of the Ring. He's my pick to win King of the Ring.
If he wins King of the Ring, I will be so happy.
It'll
still be hashtag not my king because he didn't win a real King of the Ring tournament. I still stand by that, but I will be happy for him.
Same.
That's the thing. When it comes to the New Day, the New Day wouldn't work without Woods. Big E and Kofi had tagged together long before they formed the New Day. Adding Woods in there and letting him be who he is what makes that work.
Exactly.
He's not flashy, but he's solid. And he has
just enough flash in there, though.
He has flash on the mic. Mm-hmm. In the ring, he doesn't have a lot of flash. I'm not gonna lie, I know what it is. But on the mic, very few have his skills. Big E is great on the mic too, which is one of those things it's why he's such a great package. But Woods is awesome on the mic as well.
Exactly.
And him being that gamer nerd and all that kind of stuff. I swear to God, I've said this a million times, Xavier Woods is me if I got in shape and decided to be a wrestler. We're very close to the same height. I think he's an inch taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just when I watch his other kind of up, down, down stuff or listening to them on the podcast, I'm yo, this is me.
Sidebar, Travis, how tall are you?
I am 5'9.5".
5'9.5".
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, because
you think I normally don't tell people the half because I like telling people I'm 69 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm 5'9.5".
Because here's the thing, I was always under the impression that you and Matt were just pushing 6 feet.
No, I'm 5'9.5", and I'm at least an inch taller than Matt.
Because here's the thing, when I end up meeting Matt with Getcho, I looked at Matt, I'm like, I thought I'd be looking up to this individual.
Oh, we just have very big. We both just have a very big presence about us.
Yeah, you carry yourselves larger.
Yeah, we carry ourselves like we're a lot bigger than we are. We've always been that way.
Kind of like Mark Henry. He's not that tall, but he feels like he carries himself larger.
And I had to be that way, especially in high school when I played football and all that kind of stuff. So many people were bigger than me, but I had to carry myself don't fuck with me because I'll still fuck you up. I don't care how big you are.
Yeah.
So it's just. You got to put that air about you that no matter what, I'm still not afraid of you. So it's we always have carried ourselves like that. So
Yeah, well,
It's not just you, because like even like across the way on the other shows, like Mara's like talked before, like how she just thought I was so much taller than what I really am. And it's just like, yeah, I carry myself that way, but no, I'm not that tall.
It might be the angle of the camera. I always have like a lower angle, and then you guys just I don't know. Maybe the camera.
I'm about to say our cameras are always looking down. Well, my camera's always kind of looking down at me. So
I started doing a similar thing. Like it's not necessarily looking fully down on me, but it has like a downward angle now.
Well, I do that because it makes my face look slimmer.
Interesting. Kind of like when you take a selfie, like
make yourself look same thing. Because if you're like looking up at me when I do this, my face looks fatter, But if I hit on down like this, it makes my face look slimmer. Oh shit! Wait, hold on.
While you do that, I'll finish off the draft picks. SmackDown in the next round, they go ahead and pick up Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss for whatever reason, wasting the pick. That was probably the only pick that SmackDown made that was just like a fucking miss, in my opinion. Then Raw goes ahead and takes Super Brutality, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki ASH. Then this one was a surprise to me. With their second pick in this round, SmackDown go ahead and drafts Hit Row collectively.
Yeah, when I saw them, like, oh shit, Hit Row got the call up.
Matt said he didn't like this because he thought there was so much more they could have done in NXT. But in my head, it's like, why not bring them the fuck up?
I mean, I understand because I enjoyed watching, the LKs fight the GDs, but honestly, just like how long could you really draw that out? And being 100% honest, I'm not going to watch NXT every week, but I'm more likely to watch them on SmackDown. So I'm glad to see them on SmackDown. So it's just like, yeah.
And then also too,
that was a 100% Chicago reference for those of you who are not from Chicago. But yeah, GDs and LKs, that's a Chicago thing. But yeah.
The thing that I like about this is because as say a Swerve Scott can just...
Honestly, I haven't even been in Chicago in a long time. Is that still a thing?
I wouldn't know, man. I wouldn't know.
Because you live up there. What you mean? How do you know?
I keep to myself. I keep out of trouble. Can't just assume because I'm Mexican I stay in the streets, Travis.
I wasn't in the streets like that either, but I knew what was happening.
Oh no, man. I'm like Master Roshi. I'm a turtle hermit. I go to work, come home, hang with the missus,
I'll ask
do the podcast.
There, since you're completely useless right now. Continue.
Moving on with my point, Swerve can go ahead and like pencil himself into that mid-card title scene. Obviously, Ashante the Adonis and Top Dollar tag team title picture. Obviously, SmackDown needs more tag teams, and B-Fab can slowly grow and develop into that main roster women's wrestler that they want to do.
I saw her on NXT. I'm like, okay, she's decent. She got some growing to do, but she's decent.
Her match. She had a match, a no DQ match with Elektra Lopez.
Yeah,
fantastic match.
Yeah, like I said, she's solid. She has some growing to do, but she's solid.
Then Rock goes ahead and counters with Keith Bearcat Lee. I'm not a fan of the Bearcat, but it's whatever.
But I got Keith Lee on my fucking TV this past Raw, and I was just like, actually, you know what? No, I didn't. It was not on Hulu. But you know what I did? I fucking looked that match up, and I'm watching it because I knew Keith Lee had a match. So it was just like, yeah, I'm watching this. I'm gonna find this, and I watched that shit, and I'm like, yeah, Keith Lee, whoop Tozawa's ass.
And here's the thing: I will say this: like, at least the gear, even though he's still doing like the singlet thing,
it looks better.
It looks better with the shorts as opposed to like the compression.
It looks better than with the tights. Yeah, it does. I still don't like that they make him do that, but it looks better that way. So,
and here's the thing: I will argue that WWE always has this history of making wrestlers do like this weird ass gimmick, and they do it for like a year or so, and then they just eventually become the natural person they should be. Christian was like a crybaby for like fucking a year. Like back there, where like he'll throw temper tantrums in the middle of the ring. So it's like shit happens. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying it's not the end of the world.
Oh yeah, I'm not upset about it. I just don't particularly like the Bearcat thing. The fact that he still has his music, cool. And he coming out there like, okay, they're gonna have him be mean and all that. That's cool. I still liked his other personality a bit better, but he didn't go like too far into that direction. You know what I mean? So it's just like
It's
still,
just more serious.
Yeah, he's a more serious version of what he already was. I'm just like, okay, I can deal with this. But yeah, I need him to like do a little more with his entrance though. But other than that, I'm okay with it.
Okay, 4 final picks, and we'll wrap this up. Naomi, SmackDown finally gets drafted over to SmackDown. Hopefully that means that
fuck
the Usos,
Sonya.
You know, man, Sonya's coming off a little sus, man. You know, just saying. She out here like cock blocking Bianca when she wants to make matches. Naomi wants to match in general, and she's not letting that happen. You know, she's coming off a little sus. Karen DeVille over there.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Karen. But Raw goes ahead and picks up Rey and Dominic Mysterio so they can carry over their like father-son banter over on Raw. Jeff Hardy comes over to SmackDown.
When do we get the Dominic versus Rey match? Because that's what I want.
Probably Mania.
Probably. You're probably right.
And a retirement match or like a passing of the torch type match, because Rey does want to give up his mask to his son. You know, it's just kind of like Mexican tradition to just give up your mask.
But we've seen his face already. Like for like over a year.
Travis, I know. I'm just reporting what my sources are saying.
And honestly, like we've seen Rey's face too, so it's just
like he's done very little to cover it up in recent years. Like his IG, he literally just does this.
No, I'm not even talking about that. Literally for like a long time in WCW, he wrestled without a mask.
Yeah, he just came out with a beanie.
Like he lost an unmasking match to Kevin Nash.
So I remember.
He was like so long without a mask. Like we've seen his face. We know what he looks like. But WWE acts like that just never happened. And it's just so funny to me.
I mean, they were smart to do it. I mean, merchandising. Like that's a lot of money right there.
Oh yeah, the masks are like, you know, that's good merchandise. Like my whole thing is like, I remember they were like in a Tough Enough episode when they did this whole thing about Rey taking his mask off for the Tough Enough contestants. Like, I hope you all understand how big that was for him to take his mask off and show his face to you. I'm like, you mean the face that everybody in the world saw already?
Anyways, Travis, let's try to fast try through the rest of SmackDown, man. Jeff Hardy, SmackDown. Austin Theory over to Raw. Sure.
There's still more picks. God damn.
That was it. That was all of them.
Okay.
That was all the picks.
Yeah. Austin Theory. Yeah.
Roman Reigns opens up Raw.
Like how they had to do that thing when they let the heat die down before they brought him on the main roster again.
Yep. Sorry, not Raw. Roman Reigns opens SmackDown. He says, of course, he's the number 1 pick because he's the number 1.
Acknowledge him.
Brock Lesnar comes out. We have a face-to-face. Roman actually gives it to Brock until he takes him to Suplex City, just beats the shit out of the Usos. Now we have a whole thing going. According to Brock, because of Paul Heyman, he made it possible for Brock Lesnar to be a free agent, basically have a loophole.
Yeah, and he can go wherever he wants. Yeah,
he created more like tension within the bloodline. So I thought that was
fantastic. That whole thing. Yeah, when Roman was just like, "Yo, why weren't my cousins drafted tonight?" And he's like, "Yo, they're gonna be drafted on Monday to SmackDown." Like,
yeah, they better be. They better be.
Yeah.
After that, we have Happy
Corbin.
Corbin.
Need that like for real Bloodline versus New Day match though. The fact they put the New Day on SmackDown bothers the fuck out of me. Like, why?
What if we get Bloodline versus newly reformed Hurt Business?
But that would require Bobby Lashley to get that title back, and I don't want that.
No. I think there's a possibility that the Hurt Business isn't entirely gets drafted over to SmackDown.
I guess, but like, I want the New Day versus the Bloodline, like at Survivor Series, like instead of the champion versus champions match. Like, I wanted the New Day to win the tag titles just so they can combine that into one match.
But now it's going to be hard to do so.
For real, have the match.
It's going to be hard to do so because Woods and Kofi are on SmackDown.
Exactly. That's my point. That's another reason why I was so upset about them being drafted to SmackDown. It's just like, yo, if you kept them on Raw, they could have just won the tag titles temporarily, even just in November, so we can have the New Day versus the Bloodline in an actual match that doesn't get like that doesn't fall apart. Like I want to see them actually go at it for real, because the New Day and the Usos used to go at it like hell, and it was fucking amazing. You add Roman Reigns and they add the Tribal Chief, like hell yeah.
That Hell in a Cell match, still probably one of the better Hell in a Cell matches in recent memory.
100%.
Okay.
Speaking of Roman, though, we're talking about Roman Reigns, and I like the fact that they have done the job to make it look like now Roman Reigns is on Brock Lesnar's level. Because before, when Roman Reigns faced Brock Lesnar, it didn't feel like Roman was on his level, like at all.
It felt like they were forcing him to be in that level.
Yeah, but right now it's just like, oh, Roman Reigns has a legit challenger now, as opposed to can Roman Reigns stand up to Brock? Now it's just like Brock comes back, Roman has a real challenge. So we'll see. So It's just like, oh, I like this. Okay.
Moving on with SmackDown.
I'm not ready to move on yet. So it's just
Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss on ringside
and
take on Kevin Owens. Riddick Moss, Baron Corbin's new best friend. Doesn't matter. Some other football dude. They used to be in the 24/7 title picture. He's a former 24/7 champion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's a former 24/7 champ, though. So
everyone, yes. So Happy Corbin versus Kevin Owens in basically a handicap match. Kevin Owens loses again, so we'll see how
Candice Michelle is a former 24/7 champ, just so y'all know.
So is Maria Kanellis.
Yeah.
Edge comes out to respond.
By the way,
while pregnant. What? No, I don't think she was pregnant when she did that.
Maria, yes, because he had the whole thing. She walking around pregnant champ.
Edge comes out to address Seth Rollins. I didn't actually pay attention to what the fuck he was saying, because all I can remember was Seth Rollins actually going into Edge's home, going into his fridge, grabbing an apple, and drinking some OJ on the kitchen table.
From the bottle. Drank the orange juice from the bottle, and Edge ran to the back like he was gonna run and go get him. And I'm just like, so where?
He literally just ran to the back to call Beth Phoenix on the phone and tell her not to go home.
Did he not have his phone in his hand while he was in the ring? Like in his pocket? Did he leave his phone back there? Because he ran to the back like he was going to run home. And I'm just like, where's SmackDown tonight? And somebody let me know it was in Baltimore. So like, oh, he's going to run all the way home to Canada? Like, it's just like, what the fuck?
I don't know, but I think he said something about hopping on the plane to try to like meet up Beth or some shit like that.
All I remember hearing him say was, don't go home, go to your brother's house.
Yeah, that's the one thing that kind of like sticks out to me. Moving on, this is the 8-man tag match that you didn't knew you needed. New Day and Street Profits versus Alpha Academy.
That entrance was a lot of fun to me. Like seeing the Street Profits and New Day come out together, and you know, Montez Ford is a fucking treasure. Listen, people, like it's just, whew. If the day comes when they split up the Street Profits, Montez Ford is going to be a fucking star.
Did you see his singles match with Roman last week?
No.
You should go back and watch it, because he
won't,
showed out.
But yeah, okay, I believe you.
Of course. Street Profits and New Day won, right?
Yeah. Woods got the pin. Him and Kofi did their tag finisher. I don't know what it's called anymore because it's not the Midnight Hour.
Express. The Midnight Hour is one, but when it involves Woods, it's up, down.
Okay.
Or
no, when it involves E, it's the Midnight Hour because they do it into the big ending. But when it was Kofi and Woods, what is it called? It's a different finisher when it's those two.
Oh, actually,
they call it something different when it's those two. It's not the Midnight Hour.
So here's the weird thing. So when it's Kofi and Big E, it's the Midnight Hour. But when Woods and Big E does it, it's up, down, even though it's the exact same fucking shit.
Nah, it's not the exact same because Woods jumps from the middle rope.
Okay, so it's a slight alteration.
And he does it like kind of with an elbow instead of with the little face plant thing. He does it different. It's different when Woods does it with E.
I have to do my research and really sit there and analyze the two moves side to side.
Yeah.
Do a side to side comparison.
However, yeah, but the one he does with Woods, they call it something else, and I don't remember what it is. Here's a question for you, though.
Okay.
Do you know why they call that the Midnight Hour?
I have no idea. Do you?
I do. It's funny, though, because he's like, it's a cultural thing. So she's like, I was wondering if you knew what that was from.
No,
so
I had no idea.
Okay, so when the New Day was first formed, we know they were like supposed to be like preachers, right?
Yeah.
So the Midnight Hour is something that is like said in black churches a lot. Like late in the midnight hour, God's gonna turn it around. So it's just like That's what that was from. So it's just like when I hear them, like I wonder how many people understand like why they call that the midnight hour.
Yeah, no, there was.
I never brought
no
that up
way.
to Matt either. So it's just like I wonder if Matt knows. It's just like I don't know. He might.
I feel like Matt would know more than I would. I feel like Matt would be more informed on that than I would.
Yeah.
But moving on, main event.
But yeah,
Sasha
late in the
Banks.
midnight hours are one of those things like in black churches. So it's just like that. That's why they call it that.
Travis,
but,
let's move on to the main event. We still got 2 more.
No, I'm not done.
But we're gonna be talking about Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
I don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck about Sasha Banks versus
I don't
Bianca
give
Belair?
a fuck yet. I'm not done.
Go on, sir.
Now
Jeez.
I'm done.
Okay, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, WrestleMania rematch without the title.
I don't know who the fuck you think this is.
Becky Lynch on commentary. Overall, man, like I thought this was still a pretty good match. I liked it. The ending was pretty interesting as well. How Becky went ahead and just cost Bianca by just sitting on her braid and letting Sasha get the roll up. That was fantastic. I think the big highlight throughout this entire match for me was just Sasha Banks' gear was a little different to me.
That was weird. The one leg thing was just like, what are we doing here?
I was wondering, like, is she trying to cover up like a knee brace or something? Like, was that why she was out? She had like some kind of knee injury, like, or is this like?
I don't think that's it. I just think that she was trying something. Like, that's really what I think.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just threw me off because I'm so used to like a specific gear from her.
Specific style of gear. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Specific style. Oh, almost forgot. Quick step back. Liv Morgan versus Carmella. Before the match even starts, Carmella's like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna let you try to break my beautiful face again." Gets out of the fucking ring and gets like this bedazzled, like Rip Hamilton mixed with Mankind face mask on.
Yeah. And I'm just like, why are we doing this? Sheamus already did the face mask thing. Why are we doing this? It's already been done. We did it already. He's still doing it. Like, why are you doing this? Like, no, bad idea. You want us to respect the women's division. Keep doing the original things. Don't copy what you're doing in the men's division with this. Why are you doing this? Stop it.
It was. I thought it was just dumb. I just kind of looked at it and was like, whatever.
It was dumb.
But moving back to Sasha Bianca, I'm gonna swallow that. Like we've gone completely far off of what Matt normally does with the whole like setup of the show. The only thing we've been able to like keep consistent was the intro, and that's about it. That's about it. But I mean, I don't know
if you noticed, but when I get on the show, whatever Matt tries to do is out the window. So
that's why I didn't come in here prepared with a plan, because I knew it wasn't going to be executed.
Yeah.
It was better to just come in here and wing it and just hope that you don't deter the show too far off in a different direction.
Look, I'm just here to talk wrestling and have a good time, dude. So
yeah, more or less the same here, man. Overall, Smack, don't spit or swallow.
Swallow.
I'm gonna spit it just because, for the simple fact that they broke up the New Day when they didn't have to.
Yeah, I'm upset about that, but it's not enough to me to like spit the whole show.
Out of principle, I'm gonna spit the show.
I understand why you would spit it. I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it. I'm just saying it's not enough for me to.
Oh no. I get what you mean. I just feel like someone has to spit it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Where do you want to go? Raw or NXT? Flip of a coin.
Let's NXT. Yeah, we'll go ahead.
Okay. Let's see.
As someone who doesn't watch NXT on a regular basis, what's different about NXT besides the new logo and the new
aesthetic? So, from the last 2 episodes that NXT 2.0 has been a thing, is that they've been emphasizing some of the newer talent, like this, like Braun Breaker. Did you listen to his Scott Steiner-esque promo in the back?
Was that this week?
Yeah.
They cut that from Hulu then, so I didn't see it.
I gotta find it, because he's like the crop in NXT is talented as fuck, but I'm not here to make friends. Like, I'm here to like take names. I don't know. He basically said he's come here to like take names, like win championships. If you want a friend, go buy a dog, because I don't give a shit. And then he literally went Scott Steiner mode.
But it sounds real Scott Steiner. It does. That sounds 100% like late Scott Steiner. Like not like late WCW Scott Steiner, like TNA Scott Steiner.
Right. Jesus, man, can I find this shit? If I can find this shit for you, man, damn, I want to just find it and play it for you because I know we're not gonna get copyrighted for it because it's just the audio.
Keep going. We've been at this for an hour now, so go ahead.
Okay. So we go ahead and start things off with a new DQ match between Elektra Lopez and B-Fab, which, by the way, was a fantastic match.
It was
fantastic match. I feel like Elektra Lopez helped carry the match a little bit just because you can tell that B-Fab wasn't as experienced.
Right. She just needs some reps. She'll get better.
Yeah. Oh, hold up. I think I found it.
I know the locker room is full of studs, but I'm here to whip ass. That's harsh. I don't give a shit. You want a friend? Go get a dog.
Scott Steiner, right?
Yeah, that's very much Scott Steiner.
Oh, I fucking love it. It's like they fused. They did a fusion dance or a Patara.
When I look at him, it really does look like Scott and Rick did a fusion dance. Like it's
But fantastic match. I thought it was very, very well put together. Very unique spots. I thought they were using the table on the outside, like the legs of the table, to like inflict damage on each other. Dope. Mm-hmm. Elektra Lopez does end up getting the win over B-Fab. Now, given the fact that B-Fab and the rest of Hit Row got called up to SmackDown, makes sense why she lost. Makes sense why she went ahead and lost her second match.
Yeah, you got to leave the Delgado de Fantasma, you know.
Delgado de
Elgato, you know what I meant. But
can that be a new nickname for me? Can that be a t-shirt? Can we put that on the t-shirt? Delgado del Fantasma?
Sure, whatever.
Yes. Joe Gacy does this whole like woke like gimmick thingy, whatever. This new guy, Zion Quinn versus Oni Lorcan. He crushes Oni Lorcan. Looks like he's Samoan. Did a Samoan dance like the Usos used to do. MSK come out. They kind of call out about how they're defending champions. They're fighting champions. GYV come out saying you're not fighting champions. You haven't given us our 2-on-2 tag team title match. Then Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams comes out talking about how maybe they want to challenge for the tag titles, given that Melo has the contract and he can challenge for any championship he wants.
I saw none of this.
Then the two redneck guys comes out, the new redneck tag teams from NXT come out, and then they have a brawl, very AEW-esque, and that was that segment. We have the NXT Women's Tag Team title match between Toxic Attractions, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane taking on the champions Zoe Stark and Io Shirai. Obviously, they retained the titles, but this is also a very good match. Very fantastic match.
Better than I expected it to be.
And it kind of lived up to the whole like gimmick that they were promoting on the commercials ladies night. It was very centric. Like a lot of the focus went to the women.
Mm-hmm.
And for good
fucking
fucking
main
reason.
event too. Yeah,
they had the main event too. I'm gonna spit the main event, but that's for another reason entirely.
Ladies' night and the feeling's right. Yes, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night!
Speaking of ladies,
what a night!
Bo was walked onto the ring by his lady.
Night.
Mei Ying. He takes out on Andre Chase. He gets
Who?
like this new guy called Andre Chase. He wrestles in like a sweater vest.
I hate him already.
Yes, exactly. You're supposed to. Gets smoked in the face by Mei Ying. Gets
Who's Mei Ying?
The creepy, grudge-looking Chinese lady, part of that like Asian faction that has a Xylee in it.
The one that I never see.
Yeah.
The one that's never on Hulu.
And again, I'm assuming not on Hulu.
Yeah, they're never on Hulu. So I've yet to see any of this.
Interesting. NXT Cruiserweight Championship match. Roderick Strong defends against Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller, I have no idea who the fuck this man was until he showed up last week and challenged Roderick Strong.
I was just about to ask you who the fuck is he. I saw the match, but I'm like, I don't know who the fuck you are. So
I didn't know who the fuck he was. Roderick Strong does go ahead and get the win, retains the Cruiserweight title. Not too crazy there. I think the one interesting thing about the entire show was all the Index honeymoon vignettes that were happening. I thought those were fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
Johnny trying to
kind of cock block the whole time. Yeah.
Bro, they they actually showed a whole ass roll of fucking condoms on television. That shit made me laugh. And what's even hilarious is that the same brand I use, man. That's that ultra thin brand, man. That he's Dexter Loomis out here using that ultra thin. Fucking love it, man. I think it's just great. I think that's the one thing of NXT that hasn't changed since this transition from OG NXT to 2.0 is the story of Index and the way and everything.
I don't know. I feel like they should have pulled out the gold rappers on that one. Like kind of just insinuate that Dexter Loomis has a big dick. Like you should have done that.
The magnums. He should have busted out the magnums.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but wouldn't you think that's a little played out? You know, like they assume that's where he'd go.
So,
I mean,
they assume that because it's good.
I mean, to be fair, this man was wearing like what fucking Speedos that in the fucking beach with Indy Hartwell. Like this man could not have had his fucking swimwear closer to his fucking crotch if he wanted to.
Yeah, maybe he's a grower though, man. You don't know.
Did you see the Lashing Out segment with Lash Legend?
I don't even know who the fuck Lash Legend is, so no.
It's this new black.
Oh wait, I did see that little talk show shit.
Yeah, that shit was entertaining for me.
It was funny. I liked it.
Yeah, so that gets a good thing for me. Kyle O'Reilly versus Rich Holland. Rich Holland comes out, gets attacked by Kyle O'Reilly. They have the fucking match. Kyle O'Reilly gets the win. I think barely, and they gets jumped by Pete Dunne and Rich Holland. Then Von Wagner makes the save. This new guy they got inserted into the title triple threat match, fatal four-way match a few weeks ago. A bunch of nonsense. I'm
about to say I really don't care. This doesn't sound interesting to me.
Exactly. Main event time, we have Raquel Gonzalez defending against Frankie Monet. And honestly, man, this is gonna get a spit. I'm not even gonna talk about the match because I don't care about Giant Gonzalez. I don't care for Frankie Monet. I literally tuned out of NXT after this. Like once we got to the main event, I did not care. I started caring.
I really don't know who Frankie Monet is, so it was one of those things for me. It was just like I don't care.
And you don't care enough about Raquel Gonzalez.
Exactly. It's one of those things like she's cool, she's all right, but it's just like
For me, the moment where I started caring was after the match when Toxic Attraction, led by Mandy Rose, came out and beat the shit out of Raquel Gonzalez, and Mandy Rose is standing tall with the women's title.
People keep saying they want to see new young talent and all that, but honestly, listen, people, wrestling is built on stars. All right. That's why all you lost your shit when CM Punk showed up on AEW, because he's a fucking star. That's why you lost your shit when Daniel Bryan showed. Oh, Bryan Danielson. I'm sorry.
No. Tree Seaman Danielson. Gotta give Matt something. That's what he's calling him now. Tree Seaman Danielson.
The American Dragon.
You know where that's from, right? You know why he calls him that?
No.
Because apparently he did an interview where he says that whenever he eats apples or fruits, he's basically eating tree semen because most fruits are tree semen.
Okay. But yeah, wrestling is built on stars. So it's just like when you don't have fucking stars in your main event, it's hard for me to care.
Mm-hmm.
It just is. Like Raquel Gonzalez is cool, but she doesn't scream star to me. She just doesn't.
No.
There are other females in your division that scream star. Mandy Rose is a star.
Well, okay.
Ember Moon is a star.
Okay, besides those two, like I was gonna
Rhea
say,
Ripley was a star.
Is there anyone else on NXT currently that you'd say could be a star in that women's division?
In the women's division right now, I really don't even know who's there anymore.
Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Kaylee Ray.
Here's the thing about Candice LeRae. I remember the first time I actually sat down and watched an NXT match, and it was a fatal four-way match. Candice LeRae was in it, and she was the least interesting one out of the four that were in that match.
I will say she did only start getting interesting once she turned heel with Johnny Gargano.
And she got more interesting when she turned heel. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But of all the ones that were in that match, she was the least interesting one. But then she won that match, and I'm just like, maybe they know something I don't. Who?
Elektra Lopez in the match with B-Fab.
Future star, but not a star right now.
She thick. She's nice.
I mean, she's nice to look at. That don't mean you a star. But yeah, I think she could possibly be a star in the future, but she's not.
I mean, that's kind of how they started with Roman Reigns. I'm like, he's nice to look at. He's a future star. Look at him now, tribal cheese.
Yeah, but you asked who's a star right now. No, she's not.
Fair point. We'll see what happens with once the draft fully shakes up. Mm-hmm. Overall, it's Travis better swallow NXT.
It was a whole lot of take it or leave it. So it was just, I mean, it's Gargle leaning towards spit.
Yeah, because I feel like for me it was, other than the index stuff and the opener, again similar to AEW, there was not much there. So I'll swallow just because, shout out to the ladies' night. I thought it was overall very fantastic.
Oh, what a night.
Monday Night Raw, Travis. Final show, since we're not going to be talking about Rampage since neither of us watched it. We opened up Monday Night Raw, Big E versus Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship. Did you watch that?
Oh, I sure did.
So the match, fucking fantastic. Solid match. Out of nowhere, we see Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin rocking their Hurt Business shirts,
and the gear, and the gold, and the black and gold gear,
and the fucking gear, the whole shebang.
Look at Bobby Lashley and smile. Lashley like, yeah. So we may have gotten a reunion of the Hurt Business here.
I think they were wearing Hurt Business shirts, Travis.
They were wearing Hurt Business shirts. Bobby Lashley was not.
But I don't know if you've noticed or not, but Bobby Lashley's gear has always said Hurt Business, because technically him and MVP are still part of the Hurt Business. They're still.
That doesn't mean he's accepted Cedric and Shelton, though.
I don't know, man.
He just means he let them do it tonight because it was beneficial at the time.
I guess we'll find out on Raw this Monday.
We will.
We'll find out. Ended in a DQ because I believe Woods and Kofi break up the pinfall.
Well, what happened was Woods and E come out to beat down Cedric and Shelton, and in the midst of it, I believe it was Shelton that rolled into the ring to try to get away from him, and Kofi chased him in there. And when they were fighting, they fell on top of the pin. So had Cedric not rolled into the ring, it wouldn't have happened. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Oh, they broke up the pin." Like, no, that was on Cedric. They were just trying to take them out of the equation, and Cedric rolled into the ring.
Okay, so I might have misinterpreted what was happening. Maybe I was looking down when.
Yeah, it looked like it in a flash. It may have looked like the New Day broke up the pin, but when you saw it back on the replay, when you watched the replay, you see what actually happened. Cedric rolled into the ring.
Gotcha. So they were just kind of trying to play keep away.
Yeah. He was running, and Woods or Kofi chased him in there. I don't remember which one it was, but they chased him in there, and in the fight, fell on top of the pinfall. Gotcha. So it was just, it's what happened.
Did you see Eric from the Viking Raiders versus Angel Garza? Garza gets the win after a distraction held from his cousin Humberto Carrillo. Following that, we have Reggie versus Ricochet.
They're cousins?
So they're actually legit cousins. And what's funny is that they have the same name, because you know how us Latinos, we like to give middle names. Mm-hmm. So their name, both of their first and middle name is the same. They just have a different last name. So they're both Humberto Garza. Both their full names is Humberto. Their middle name is Garza, and then they have a different last name. But they're cousins. They're first cousins.
What's Garza's last name?
I didn't know that far ahead. I couldn't remember the third last name.
How dare you come to me with incomplete information?
Isn't that just kind of like my move? Come to you with incomplete information.
It is, and I just want you to do better. That's why I'm bringing it up.
Fair enough. Reggie versus Ricochet for the 24/7 championship. I did not actually see this.
Didn't see it either.
I'm assuming Reggie won the match because he should still be champion. Keith Lee versus Akira Tozawa.
It's not on Hulu, but I watched that match. I found that shit on YouTube because there's no way you deny me a Keith Lee match.
Mm-hmm. Big swallow there. We have Damian Priest
wanted with the Big Bang Catastrophe.
The BBC.
I wonder if he'll still call it that.
He should just condense it to the BBC.
To the BBC? Yeah.
And let's see if people catch on to it.
Oh, they'll catch on. We'll just see how long they let them keep doing it, though.
Wasn't team PCB Paige, Charlotte, and Becky originally called the submission sorority, and they had no idea what the fuck that shit was?
Yeah.
Let's just see.
That was their original. That's what their name was originally going to be, and then they Googled it, and they're like, "Oh,
because they all had submissions."
Because they were all submission specialists.
Yeah, exactly. Or they at least had a finisher that was a submission. Because Becky was a submission specialist, and so was Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Paige just did the scorpion,
the octopus or whatever that was.
Yeah, the Paige tap out, whatever the fuck she called it afterwards. Damien Priest versus Sheamus for the United States Championship. The GOAT Sheamus loses to Damien Priest in a very hard-fought efforts. Did you see this match?
Yes.
I'm gonna spit this just because Sheamus didn't regain the United States Championship. Obviously, you have not been here long enough to know, but I'm now the biggest Sheamus stan account that there is and ever will be, and I will fight any injustice in Sheamus's name, which is why I'm his face mask.
Understood.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Damien Priest?
I like him. I don't approve of him hitting the bro kick. I don't approve of him beating Sheamus, but he's a fellow Latino, so I can't really be mad at him too much. And he won a match with Bad Bunny at WrestleMania, and I love me some Bad Bunny. So, it's kind of hard to hate Damien Priest, It's kind of hard to hate the guy.
I don't hate him. I just don't particularly like him.
But you like Sheamus more, right?
Sure.
Thank you. That's all I need to know. Moving on. We had Jinder Mahal and the boys taking on Mansoor, Mustafa Ali, and Jeff Hardy. Did you see this?
Negative.
I believe the team of Jinder Mahal won. I cannot recall.
Sure. Who cares?
Jeff Hardy loses. Big win for Matt. Big win. Karrion Kross versus Jackson Riker happened.
Negative. Didn't see that either.
It didn't happen, man. I didn't see that shit.
Who the fuck is Jackson Riker?
It's the dude that was like the muscle for Elias for a good hot minute.
Oh, that dude. Okay.
The old leader of the fucking Forgotten Sons.
Oh yeah, that dude. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah. Matt Riddle, or just Riddle, took on AJ Styles. AJ Styles won after he hit the.
He's phenomenal.
After he hit the Styles Clash. Big win for Matt again.
Just take a moment for us to all just acknowledge AJ Styles for a minute, because he is fucking phenomenal, and it's just we don't appreciate him enough. Okay, keep going.
Exactly. Charlotte Flair versus Doudrop.
Saw this.
You saw this? I missed this. You know what happened here? Do you recall anything?
Eva Marie came out, caused a distraction, and Charlotte won. Eva Marie tried to get in there and talk shit, but Charlotte said, fuck you, and kind of gave her the whole boom, get the fuck out my ring kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then Shayna Baszler came out and fucked Eva Marie up because Eva Marie was in there talking shit. I think.
Something like that.
Wait, did Charlotte do anything to her? I think she did.
Shayna Baszler came out and just.
Well, I know Shayna Baszler came out, but I'm trying to remember if Charlotte did anything after.
I can't recall if Charlotte did anything.
But yeah, I remember Eva Marie in there talking shit and just being like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot," because you literally stood there and just watched her walk all the way down the ramp, knowing she's somebody that will fuck you up, instead of getting out of the ring immediately as you saw her walking towards you. Like, you watched her walk out of the back. Her music played. You watched her walk all the way down the aisle to the ring and then decided to try to get out instead of getting out immediately when you heard her music. Because any logical, sane human being would do that.
You know what she reminded me of? Of that stupid, dumb white blonde in scary movies that always ends up getting killed.
Yeah. Runs upstairs. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Stupid. Instead of leaving the fucking haunted house, they're like, let's explore that sound.
Mm-hmm.
What's making that noise?
She just stood there and watched her walk all the way down the aisle to the ring.
Yeah. Speaking of Charlotte, I almost forgot. She actually came out at the end of that Sasha, Bianca, Becky fiasco.
Yeah, kicked everybody in the face. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Did Charlotte things. Moving on to the main event of Monday Night Raw, because we didn't get a clean finish of the opener WWE Championship match between Big E and Bobby Lashley, we needed to have two big meaty men slapping meat inside a steel cage with no interference. Oh, what's better than two meaty men slapping meat? You cage them up. Let the meat tenderize. Let it marinate and just simmer inside that steel cage. Oh boy, Travis, did we have a juicy ass main event?
It was quite the juicy main event.
Juicy, meaty men. Oof.
Juicy, meaty main event. That's what it was.
Juicy, meaty. Can we make that the title?
Juicy, meaty main event.
Juicy, meaty main event.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
I know Matt wants to do like Arn double.
Well, you said you wanted to be something with the draft, but it's just,
Man, but I don't know. Can anything on the draft really top two black meaty men slapping meats inside a steel cage for the WWE
in the main event
of Monday Night Raw, the flagship show? Does anything top that?
I don't know if anything does.
I don't know, man.
Well, there you go. Make the thumbnail. I'll make it happen.
Hey, bet. But yeah, I don't recall too much of the steel cage match because I was at work and I was closing up. What do you remember of it?
I remember Big E hitting the big ending off the top rope.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this sequence when the Hurt Business tried to interfere, and New Day said, "Fuck that." This whole sequence when Bobby tried to escape out the front door after the Hurt Business interfered. Woods came through, slammed the cage door on Bobby Lashley's face, went around the corner, super kicked the Hurt Business right after that. He got hit after that too, but he got that sequence of slamming the door on Bobby Lashley's face, and I believe it was Cedric that jumped off the cage to try to get at him. He kicked him in the face, but then Shelton got him. But then here came Kofi to take out Shelton, and it was just we were good. It was pretty great. It was pretty great to see.
It was a solid match.
It solidified Big E like, it wasn't a fluke. He can beat Bobby Lashley, and it was good. It was good to see.
I like it. I mean, if you want to look at the silver lining of things, Big E still being separated and being a single star on his own at Raw, I feel like that kind of shows that WWE wants to emphasize and reinforce that this man is a top singles guy.
Yeah.
So let's be hopeful, but I can still just completely shit on the fact that New Day got split up.
They split them up, yeah.
For no good fucking reason other than they need to split up a tag team every fucking year.
They split up a tag team without splitting up a tag team.
Stupid.
Like they split up a tag team to still have a tag team.
Why didn't they split up Street Profits? At least then now we can get Montez Ford on his own.
Because the Street Profits as a tag team are fucking phenomenal too. So it's just like,
it's just my whole thing with Street Profits. I feel like they've done just about everything they can do on both Raw and SmackDown. Like, what else can they do? Go after the Raw tag titles again? Yeah.
I don't see them being tag champs again. I really don't.
Exactly. Why not let Montez Ford go into the singles division?
Because then Angelo Dawkins falls by the wayside, and I don't want that either.
I'm sad to see, but I'm sure he can find something else.
No, they
can find something else.
They won't.
Send them back to NXT and have him join Malcolm Bivens and the Diamond Man.
It won't happen.
We'll see.
Like if they split the Street Profits, we're gonna lose Angelo Dawkins.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
It's just what it is. If they split the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins will be no more.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's just like I'm not hating on him or anything, but honestly,
just being realistic.
I just know how it works. It's without Street Profits, there is no Angelo Dawkins. Just like with the New Day, if they had split the New Day too soon, we would have lost Xavier Woods.
Oh yeah, he probably would have been an Impact.
Yeah.
Again.
As Consequences Creed.
Consequences Creed. Coming out like the American flag, like boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Oh man. After the match, after Big E stands tall, Drew McIntyre comes out and just kind of like has a standoff with him. Did he get into the ring or was he just at the stage?
No, he just stand on the stage, pointed his sword at him. And by his sword, I mean his actual sword, not his dick.
I was just about to like clarify that. Like, you mean his dick or his sword?
No, his actual sword, his ancestral sword.
Well, technically, his dick would also be his ancestral
the metal
sword
one.
as well. We don't know what he put in his thing. Like, people pierce their penises. It could be metal.
Yeah, but
can't
it's
just
not.
make
But
assumptions.
I assume his entire penis is not made of metal, though.
We have
The
not
entire
known.
sword I'm talking about is made of metal.
Drew McIntyre might have had some surgery to like
He might have.
reinforce.
He might have. You're right. I'm making assumptions right now.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about his sharp pointing metal sword that
Again,
he held in his hand.
Again, it could fit.
It could if we hadn't seen it on television.
Wait, we've seen it on television?
No, we saw the sword he was actually
Oh, I
pointing
thought you were
on
still talking about
television
his
while
penis.
he did it.
I
Yeah,
thought you were
yeah.
still talking about his penis.
No, I have yet to see Drew McIntyre's penis, unfortunately. But
To our dismay.
yeah. Unfortunately, we have yet to see Drew McIntyre's penis.
So I thought that was kind of interesting with Drew McIntyre coming out because the assumption was that he was going over to SmackDown, which he did, obviously. Now, do they have a match on Raw? They could Crown Jewel. They can do both.
I really think they'll do it at Crown Jewel.
They could do it at Crown Jewel for sure, and then make it seem like they could like move the titles to the other brand. I don't know. They got a lot of shit moving on. I think. Okay, we'll go into my bigger spit of the whole draft process, but overall, Raw spit or swallow.
I'll gargle it. I didn't love it, but the main event was pretty fucking dope. So
I just want to swallow big meaty men slapping me. Anytime I get meaty men slapping me, that's a big swallow on my end.
yeah, but like I said, outside of like the actual like Bobby Lashley, and
We got
Big
Riddle
E
versus
stuff,
AJ Styles, which was very good.
the rest of it was just blah to me. So it was just like
We got Sheamus on TV, which he's the best wrestler on television on Monday Night Raw currently.
in your opinion.
Then we also had Angel Garza in the match. He's another man I stand. And
I didn't see it, so
True. But in this universe, in my universe, I saw it. So in my alternate dimension, I got to see this match.
I don't know if you know anything about me, but I don't give a fuck what happens in your universe. So
clearly you don't, but I'm just like emphasizing for any viewer that may or may not be interested or care. There may not be.
maybe
But-
not. You don't know.
But
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna swallow Raw. And you know what?
Gargle it.
I'm gonna retract my spit of SmackDown. SmackDown was a good show. I'll go ahead and swallow that as well. I'm gonna go ahead and gargle both AEW and NXT, but I'll swallow both Raw and SmackDown. Okay. My big overall spit about the draft process is that this isn't going to be official until the 23rd of October, which is after Crown Jewel. So for like 3 fucking weeks, there's going to be like this limbo state where like technically Bianca is going to be drafted over to Raw, but she's still technically a SmackDown superstar until after Crown Jewel, which is fucking stupid.
Mhm.
I think what's going to just give Matt like the biggest of migraines and just he's going to throw the biggest of fit when he finds this shit out.
I think
he
knows. I think he already knows. So it's just have fun dealing with that. But
actually, I'm off next week, and I'm probably going to be off for the next 2 weeks, so I'm avoiding that altogether. So good luck to whoever has to deal with that. Probably is going to have to be Katie Kinsey, baby. She's my understudy. We've officially given her the title of Vince's understudy because 9 times out of 10 she's always available on Fridays, and Matt already threatened to fire me and replace me with Katie. So there's that.
Understandable.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She's really good at what she does. Pretty good podcaster. And apparently she's not as outlandish and blasphemous as I am. So
I mean, your Hoovy slander is 100% grounds for me to never let you on another Creation World property ever again. But
you know what's funny is that the whole Sheamus stand, like obviously you don't know, but the whole Sheamus stand thing is literally me leaning completely in the opposite direction of where I started with Sheamus.
I remember.
Because I called Sheamus mid at best.
I remember. I know.
And then it literally turned a corner at WrestleMania where I said if he beats Matt Riddle for the US title, I will officially become the biggest Sheamus stan account. And I just kind of lived the fucking gimmick. But the Sheamus gimmick is probably going to come to the end because, quick shameless plug, we're going to be having our WWE draft featuring Matt and Katie Kinsey. They're going to be taking over Raw and SmackDown respectively. I'll be taking over NXT. They said that if I don't go ahead and draft Sheamus with my number 1 pick, that the gimmick is dead. And I told them that this is a separate universe, that I will not be carrying over my Sheamus stan gimmick into my podcast that's strictly a Smackin' and Raw gimmick, Matt said, "Cap, we're not gonna fucking do that shit. That's bullshit."
But
If you
NXT
don't,
doesn't get picks this year.
I know, but this is my draft, so we're gonna like assume that it's a third equal draft, which is not.
Yes.
Which is not. Again, my alternate universe that you don't care about.
Okay.
But yeah, Sheamus. Damn it, why did I call you Sheamus? Maybe because I think so highly of Sheamus and I think so highly of you that I just associated you two.
Just let that go. Just stop it now and finish what you were gonna say. It's best
Overall,
if you just don't even do that.
Overall show of the week. Overall best show of the week, Travis.
SmackDown.
Draft is always fun.
Yeah.
Then we got Big Booty Brock rocking the Mick Foley flannel, Suplex City. I'm all about it.
We got
all
Roman being Roman. You know, him yelling at Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's reaction was probably just my favorite thing that happened that whole night. Honestly,
he was crying, man. He was
like, I'm sorry, my tribal chief. Yes, my tribal chief. Thank you, my tribal chief.
I'm like, I'm the wise man. I'm like, no, bitch, you're the wise man when I say you're the wise man.
Yeah. That whole exchange was just like, oh, this is beautiful.
I love it. I love Paul Heyman being Roman's bitch because it's so different. And I shout out to Paul Heyman being so versatile.
Yeah.
When he was with Punk, with Brock, with Roman, with anyone, he's always been different. He's tried to play it off of the wrestler he's been managing or paired up with. Big shout outs to that man.
Mm-hmm. Second greatest manager that ever lived.
Who's the greatest?
Bobby Heenan.
Before my time, can't dispute it though. Wouldn't know. Kind of like trying to compare Wilt to like Shaq or whatever. If you never saw Wilt,
right?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, Travis, you want to? Are we done with the show?
Yeah,
quick
we can
plugs.
end this here. We're good.
All right, let's cut ties here. I feel like this train wreck. We stumbled to the finish line.
You stumbled. I didn't stumble.
I stumbled and you watched me stumble.
Yeah,
and you pushed me into more stumbles.
Exactly. I knew exactly where I was going.
I had no idea. I winged it all the way there.
There you go. You got
Story of my life.
Fail up.
That's kind of how I got this job. Was just winging it.
Yeah, you failed up.
I stumbled into this job, to be honest. I stumbled into the fucking job. I tuck and rolled into this fucking job.
You got there. That's what matters. It doesn't matter. Wise men said it doesn't matter how you find the pot of gold as long as you catch the leprechaun, you know? So
was that a short joke because I'm Mexican?
No, that was 100% Stewie Griffin. Like, I don't know.
I stopped watching Family Guy after a while, to be honest.
I mean, this was a very early episode, though. It wasn't like a new kind of shit. This was like in the earlier seasons, you know.
Over my fucking head, man. You made an Office references, I catch it right away.
I don't have
neither here nor there.
I don't have one for this particular situation, but I usually do.
Next time. Okay.
So when there's gonna be a next time.
You always have to assume. You don't know what the future holds, Travis.
I don't.
Exactly. This may be our last podcast together. It may be the second one in a row we do together. We don't know.
This may be the last episode of Smackin' and Raw ever. You don't know.
Exactly. We just might go ahead and pull a dead ass girls and just say fuck podcasting. We're done podcasting. Maybe. But with that being said, because I didn't do it properly at the start of the show, go ahead to Matt's pin tweet on Twitter. That's MATTRIDDER. I can't do it as fast as that man can. Shout out to his wife, very lucky woman. Check out this Black Lives Matter hoodie, t-shirts, tank tops, even though it's not the season for it, but if you work out, you're gonna need a shirt to work out in. A tank top's perfect situation to do so. We're getting close to breast cancer awareness month, so they have their pink breast cancer awareness shirts. Go ahead and buy those as well. Support TC, support them. It supports the Black Lives Matter movement, not the organization. They put this money into a trust fund and make sure it gets into the hands of the right people to actually help people, the right people. And it's probably one of the only things that TC does that Travis approves of.
Definitely.
If I'm not mistaken.
You're not mistaken at all.
You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Smackin' It Raw Pod. I run the IG. Matt runs the Twitter. please follow us on the Twitter and not just his personal Twitter because we're trying to get the numbers up on there. Go ahead and sub on YouTube, please. You can find the audio version of the show, Linktree/Creation World. You can find that's the video version of the show.
If you just go to creationworld.com, you got it all. So just go there.
True. Linktree/Creation World for the video version. Linktree/Smackin Raw podcast for the audio. It's in Matt's bio.
Yeah. Just go to creationworld.com, people. Like that's the place to go for everything.
So for Sir Cusslat Travis Pointer, I am your host, Daddy Delgado, the Pornhub Poppy, SES Vince. This has been the Smackin Raw podcast. We are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. What the fuck does Matt do?
Peace.
Later, y'all.